What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zcash today. It is the 16th day of December. Here we are sitting at about $405 with 6 hours and 31 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are. Pulling back, finding support here at 374 at the low, which is perfect. This is exactly what we called for. From a high to a low, we did say, first and foremost, once we closed above the 382 here, like this, we became bullish to the golden ratio. We closed back below it the next day, and then we were bearish. We were bearish probably even to lower lows. The next day we closed bullish, and now we are bullish to the golden ratio. Since then, we haven't really done much, right? We moved up a little bit and then moved down. Even though we flipped bullish here to the golden ratio, at least. I'm not bullish to new highs. Maybe we go to new highs. That remains to be seen. We'll get there if that happens. We'll figure that out along the way. But even here, we were saying, watch out for this scenario where we might find resistance at the 0.5, pull back to the 236, and then run up to the golden ratio. The 236 specifically, because we've been seeing this across the board in crypto all year, all 2025. Various cryptos go to their 0.5 for resistance, 236 for support, and then run up to the golden ratio. It's not common, but it has been for whatever reason. The more common thing to do is to go to your 382, 236, and then up to the golden ratio. That's the most common thing to do. But lately, for whatever reason in crypto, it's the 0.5 to the 236 and then the golden ratio. And we did that exact thing. We just haven't gone to the golden ratio yet, but we're finding immaculate support here. I'm absurdly confident, and I did say this up here too, we can close below the 382, and that doesn't hurt the chances of going up here, right? It's once you close below the 236, that's when it hurts the chances of going up here. And I said that we'd remain bullish to the golden ratio so long as we were not closing days below the 236. We could even wick below there, but as long as we're not closing below there, I highly doubt that we go lower until we resolve ourselves to the golden ratio. Now, my thoughts overall are that Zcash is working its way up here just so it can move down lower afterwards. That's my thought overall. I do assume that we have lower to go. I think we have a date with destiny with prices that are even below $200, but I could be wrong. And I'll accept defeat on that depending on how things unfold over the coming days and weeks, right? There's several paths, there's several, let's say, schematics that we work through with these fibs here. From the 0.5 to the 236, typically what happens is you go to golden ratio. If you were to build higher, the idea would be you pull back from the golden ratio, you find support at the 0.5382 area, and then you move up to the 786, 886. We would become bullish on Zcash to see new highs and even to see highs above the golden ratio if we come back to the 0.5382, we find support, and then we return to the golden ratio. At this point right here at the golden ratio, at that point we're bullish until 612 to $680, 675, whatever this area is up here, 613 to 671. And then at that point, if we find support on the golden ratio, we're bullish to new highs. If we close above the 886, we're bullish to new highs. But that hasn't happened yet. We haven't even gotten to the golden ratio, right? So it just depends on what we do. There's another way that we could just, from the 236 move up above the golden ratio. Maybe we bypass it entirely. We find resistance here. We'd still want to back check this for support and then move up. At that point, we'd be very bullish to new highs. Because you can break through the golden ratio and still come back down, right? Just breaking through it in itself is not enough, right? If you break through it after finding resistance and then support, okay, then I'd be more bullish here. But if we just broke through it in one fell swoop, there's a solid chance that you could just rip all the way back down to new lows. So it's very important how we analyze this over the days and weeks ahead. I'm right now forecasting that we move up to the golden ratio, we stop there, and we will likely pull back to this area. What we do afterwards is what determines if we go lower or if we go higher, okay? I'm under the impression we will go lower, but time will tell. Ultimately, a close below $372, this 236 here, is what will validate that we do go below this low. A daily close below 372 validates that. And at the end of the day, up, down, sideways, whatever it is that we do right here, the expectation is that we go lower. But for now, yeah, things look good. Things look good. 1 hour time frame, zooming in here. A lot of volume on the last hour there. A little bit of a selling pressure wick, but not that big of a deal. We didn't really go anywhere. We could pull back. Maybe we pull back to 397 from here. Let's just see, looking at the 1 hour. We do have higher highs in the RSI with lower highs in the price. It's hidden bearish divergence. Higher highs in the stochastics, lower highs in the price. Hidden bearish divergence. Same thing on the MACD. Higher levels in the MACD on the histogram, but lower highs in the price. That's hidden bearish divergence. So pull back a little bit. Maybe from here we get a relative retracement from a low to a high. Maybe you pull back to 398. 386, 388, somewhere in there, find support, and then continue to move higher. That's my expectation. Yeah. 4 hour time frame here, looking at the 4 hour. Bouncing off the oversold zone. Nice. You are bearish, but you're reluctantly bearish. Higher highs again in the RSI, lower highs in the price. So yeah, a little bit of consolidation here, but then probably by the end of the day, if not sometime tomorrow, you should start to recover back to the upside. You do have bullish divergence on the MACD. This move is played out already. Stochastics are getting tied up here. That's okay. Overall, the 4 hours a little bit more bearish, but I do think that you're at a point to bounce, not a point to break through and go lower. Low to high here. If you were to go lower, I don't know, if we close below 372 at all, then this upside thought to the golden ratio, it's out the window. We're talking about lower prices then. But if you were to go lower, I mean, it is possible you could wick below 372. You could wick all the way down to 357 and find support, but you want to close above 372 on a daily time frame. 4 hour indicators, bullish divergence there. Stochastics getting tied up at the 50. I mean, you might push higher. You do look bullish here, but maybe you get tied up a little bit. The 4 hour RSI is bearish. Overall, it's kind of bearishly implied, but there are some bullish things going on here that do suggest we move up a little bit. Maybe not immediately, but soon. Daily time frame, the RSI has broken out of its downtrend. We did have a downtrend. We broke out of that. Now we're probably looking to find a higher low and then move up higher. Lower lows in the RSI. Technically, hold on. Never mind. Stochastics are bearish, and the MACD is bearish as well. Not really giving us any signs that we want to move up. The only thing that's giving me an idea, an inkling at all that we want to move up, besides the 1 hour time frame, is this bounce off the 236. 0.5, 236 to the golden ratio. That's just happened. That typically does happen exactly like that. If you get the 0.5, 236 reaction. Weekly time frame. Looking at this here, zooming out a little bit more. We're on Coinbase. Let's take it off of Coinbase. We'll go to the all-time history. So far, the low that we have here that we formed earlier this month is at $301. That's right here at prior resistance there. I've made it clear that I still think we're going lower than this low, but maybe I haven't made it as clear as this to say that this still could be the low. I'm expecting lower prices. I am. But this very well could be the low. This is a completely adequate low. There's nothing about it that demands we have to go lower. This is perfect. You're at prior areas of resistance here. No wonder we're finding support. I just think, no offense, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I think after, August 18th to November 10th, after a November 3rd, whatever it was, after a less than 3 month period of seeing a 21x move, in less than a quarter of a year, you saw a 21x, 21.5x move. Call me crazy. I just think that 3 weeks to the downside isn't enough. Let's pretend this is the low. 3 weeks to the downside still isn't enough. You'll consolidate. If I'm wrong, and we're assuming this is the low, but it's not, or if I'm wrong and I'm assuming that we go lower, but it is the low, we'll likely have other opportunities, very obvious opportunities to buy at these areas to consider higher prices. But what I certainly would not expect is that from here, we rally to new highs on a sustainable path. In fact, if from here we moved up above this high at all, that would likely be a bull trap. We would get some bearish divergence on our weekly RSI, and that'd be a really bad thing. The worst thing for Zcash right now, in my genuine opinion, would be to pump nonstop from here up to new highs. The best thing would be to consolidate, reset your indicators, and then pump. Or dump more, capitulate people, and then pump. Whatever comes first. But again, that really could be the low. From a low point here to a high point here, it's right at your 236. You've shown support at the 236 on various fib ranges. I think we're going to go all the way down to the 382. I believe that we'll achieve this 382 probably sometime in January at $171 or lower. It's very common to wick right off the 382 and bounce, or even wick below it. So if we go a little bit below 171, that doesn't mean Zcash is broken. But it's a bit of an intense drop. So either this is going to happen soon, we'll start to see some more downside, maybe not this week or next week, but maybe the last week of December, or the early weeks of January will start to pull down. Or if we don't see anything below 300, as long as we're holding this level here, we likely will just continue to consolidate going into January, and then maybe February or March we can look to break out. But one thing's for certain, nobody gets off this easy. It just doesn't happen. Maybe in the meme coin markets where there's like $1 million market cap, $10 million, even $100 million market cap, but something like this with billions of dollars in its market cap valuation, no. No. You got too many people who are either in the green that can take profits, or who are in the red who panic FOMO'd at the top, who are thinking about panic selling. You've got too many reasons to sell up here. So you're going to consolidate or push lower. That's my guess. I got nothing else. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I thoroughly expect Zcash will work its way up to that $560, $600 area, the golden ratio, whatever. Pull back from there. We'll likely go below $200, and then from there, whenever we start to move up higher, it's probably going to be Q2 or later of 2026. That'll be when we start to push toward these $2,500 to $5,000 targets, stuff like that. But that'll be at a later date. Hit the like button. Thank you all. Take care.